In this lesson, we'll talk about some of the new symmetry options that we can use to work symmetrically in Topogun. So let's open up Topogun, and this is 06 begin, and just have our creature here again for illustration purposes. And in the past, we've been able to create symmetrical meshes, and we've been able to create the mesh on one side and then kind of zero out the points in the center line and then create the symmetry on the other side. And in some ways modify the position of the points and have that modification take place over on the other side as well. But there's a way here in Topogun 2 to really work symmetrically much faster. It's kind of integrated into all the tools if we want to turn it on. So to turn on symmetry for our tools, we can go ahead and just hit the symmetry button down here, or we can activate it going under Options, Enable Symmetry, and you can see here that X is the shortcut for that. So we can go ahead and enable that or disable it. You can see an indication here of whether that's on or off. And also, when you hover over, you can kind of see an indication of whether that's on or off. You can see the little dot hovering over in the same spot on the other side as we move our cursor. And so to create a geometry, we'll go in and let's go to just simple create. And you can see that symmetry stays on as we change to different tools. And we can start to create our geometry here. And you can see that as I create these points and edges, that those same points and edges are being created over on the other side. Now if I switch over to bridge, again, symmetry is still taking effect, so anytime I go and bridge these points together, the same thing is happening symmetrically over on the other side. Okay, I can come in here now and draw out some more lines, and again, same thing happening over there on the other side. Just like that. So now if I want to modify the position of these, I can go ahead and go to Simple Edit, and as I move this around, you can see that that's actually moving the same points on the other side. So we get some nice mirroring of that. All right. If we want to use, let's say, our brush and want to use move, you can see that it's being affected by symmetry as well. So you don't have to turn it on for each individual tool. You just kind of turn it on, and then the tools will take advantage of symmetry for that. You can also go into, let's say you want to go to draw, and let's create some lines here. So maybe coming across here, coming down, we'll add a few points to those. And then maybe we want to loft those together. So just bring a loft and we'll evaluate that. Let that go ahead and think. You can see that it's actually gone ahead and created the same geometry on the other side. So we've only drawn the curves over on this side and then calculated it, and it's actually created the topology on the other side. So one cool thing, when we start to get to the center here, okay, we want to be able to place our center point right on that center axis. And so we get a nice little indicator here of how to do that. So if we're coming in and starting to create some topology here, as we start to get in that center line, you can see as we get within a certain distance, you're able to now see a little orange dot. That lets us know that if we place a point anywhere when that dot is showing, the point that we place is going to actually be right at the center. So it's not going to be where our cursor is, it's going to be actually right in the middle. So that's a nice way of making sure that that point's right in the center. So we can go ahead and click, and you can see it snaps to the center. We come down here, and here you can see all of those points are being snapped to that center line. And then we can come out here and continue our process. Coming in here, and back in here, and then you can see that still all the symmetry is helping us. So as we work on one side, automatically it's creating the geometry for the other side. Okay, and again, if you want to modify that, come in here and move that around a little. Just to illustrate, again, it works with we showed the brush, it works also with the tubes. So coming down to the legs here, we'll go ahead and increase that number of divisions. And I'm just going to, on the screen right here, I'm just going to draw across our leg here really quickly. Okay, right click. And you can see that it's created the geometry not only on that side, but also the same geometry mirrored over on the other side. So a great way to really quickly add some geometry. Again, I can do the finger here on this side real quickly, and you can see it creates the topology on the other side. So again, just a really nice way to speed up your workflow by working symmetrically. Now we're working with an X symmetry, and a lot of your characters are going to have that type of a symmetry from basically left to right, how we're looking at it. But we can actually modify how the symmetry is set up. So if we have a different kind of model that we're brought in, we can actually modify that. You can do that in the symmetry options. It actually gives you kind of an indication of how the symmetry is working right now. So we're working with a YZ symmetry. So again, X going across. But you can change that. You can go XZ, XY, and world space, or also local YZ, XZ, and XY. So the 3 different variations. So basically 6 total variations of default symmetry planes that you can use. Okay, and that just gives you an indication. We'll talk about some of this in a little bit as far as customizing that. But if you want to now continue to work on this, you can. And again, it goes across all these different tools as far as the symmetry goes. And then when you're done using symmetry, you can always just turn that off here or hit X again on your keyboard. Okay, you still have some of the options here if you want to come in and modify something, modify a point, and then say you want the opposite point to move the same way. You can hit adjust symmetry, and it should go ahead and do that for you. You may want to adjust some of your options in the preferences. So you can see we have some values here for symmetry tolerance and symmetry snap, which can help change if you want to increase that value or decrease it. We can come in here, and there you can see it kind of worked on that one. Move that around. So you can still use some of these, but it's really nice to be able to just interactively create new topology and have that mirrored over to the other side automatically. And also the way that you're able to know that the center point is going to be right on the center is really, really nice and an important feature, I think. So make sure to check out that the symmetry option when you're working on your new topology. In the next lesson, we'll take a look at working with symmetry warps and how we can use those on asymmetrical models. So go ahead and take a look at that next.